The night had just begun when Sarah Langley, a young journalist, arrived at the isolated manor on the outskirts of town. It wasn't supposed to be more than a standard report about a forgotten mansion, but as soon as she stepped inside, she felt it something cold, something watching. Sarah entered cautiously, her footsteps echoing in the grand, decayed foyer. Dust coated every surface. As she explored deeper into the manor, the floor creaked beneath her. She began noticing strange symbols etched into the wall, symbols she couldn't understand, but they filled her with unease. As Sarah moved deeper into the house, she felt an oppressive weight in the air. The temperature dropped, and suddenly a whisper, a faint voice, calling her name. She turned sharply, heart pounding, but no one was there. The voice grew louder, echoing from the hallway ahead, luring her deeper into the shadows. In her research, Sarah had learned about the manor's dark history. Its owner, an eccentric man named Elias Northwood, who disappeared mysteriously with his family decades ago. Some say he was involved in occult rituals. Others claim madness overtook him after his wife's death. But no one knew for sure. Until now. Sarah turned a corner, and there it was, a door she hadn't seen before. It was slightly ajar, leading down into a basement. Her instincts screamed to turn back, but the whispers were louder now, almost urging her forward. She hesitated only for a moment before descending into the darkness. And then, she saw a figure, standing motionless in the corner, facing the wall. The figure in the corner didn't move. But as Sarah inched closer, she noticed something horrifying. Its feet were hovering just above the ground. And then, slowly, it turned. Its face was not human, it was distorted, stretched, as if it were a reflection in a warped mirror. The whispers grew into screams. She stumbled back, terror flooding her veins, but the figure reached out for her with impossibly long arms. Sarah bolted up the stairs, her heart hammering. She could hear the thumping of footsteps behind her, getting closer, though she didn't dare look back. The whispers had turned into a cacophony of voices, shouting her name, mocking her. She reached the front door, but as she yanked on the handle, it wouldn't budge. She was trapped. The figure was closing in, and Sarah felt a wave of dizziness wash over her. Suddenly, the whispers weren't just in her ears, they were in her head. Something was crawling into her mind, taking control. Her vision blurred and she collapsed to the floor, unable to move, her body no longer her own. The last thing she saw before darkness consumed her was the figure's ghastly face, inches from hers, whispering, "Now you belong to us." Days later, a search party found the manor empty. There was no sign of Sarah. But strange markings were found on the walls, symbols that hadn't been there before. The locals began to speak of new whispers that could be heard from the manor at night. And if you listened closely, you might hear a woman's voice, begging for help, trapped inside.